Hello and welcome to an Not So Awesome review. Today we're looking at the World of Halo Flood Tank with Infected Form plus Master Chief and Flamethrower by Jazwares. And I'm so happy to be able to say that because this is a set that most people thought and were saying it's only going to be in Canada, we're not going to get it, it's Toys R Us Canada exclusive. Well, it went up on Amazon a couple weeks ago, and here it is earlier from the release date that I had set, because it told me September 6th. It is now September 1st, and I got it on August 31st. So I'm glad it didn't take forever. Currently, if you want to get it, though, it does have an October ship date. There is an Amazon associate link down below. So if you guys want to pre-order one, go ahead, do it. It's awesome. And it's definitely worth the money, but I will speak on that in a second. I just wanted to show the box for once. I hate showing boxes in my videos, honestly, but yeah, it is an American box. You can see there is no French writing or anything like that on the bottom, like in the Canadian version, because Canadian versions of things always have, I believe it's French writing and maybe some other language. I'm not actually sure, but yeah, American version. There is the barcode once again if you guys want to screenshot that and keep it. Again, I don't know if it's going to be available in Targets, but Amazon has them. They haven't put up any of the other Wave 5 stuff, but I'm hoping it's just a matter of time till we at least get the other 2-packs. And then I would assume Target would probably at least get the individual figures, because Amazon doesn't really seem to sell those, at least for regular price. So I'm assuming something like that is probably coming in the very near future, since this is already out. And yeah, so I don't know where to get started here. This is a set I was very excited for, and I'm glad we have a chance to get it in the US. Apologies, anyone else from around the world, because I know Mexico and the UK, and I'm assuming Australia, y'all get kind of shafted by this company. Honestly, just email them. I did email them in regards of this set just to see what they would say. They kind of gave me a no-nonsense email that, honestly, the more I read it, the more I felt like they actually didn't know what they were talking about, in the sense of them saying that they don't believe this wave will be in America, or that you have to ask Jazwares and you have to ask the retailers because they think that nobody wants them, and you just got to gauge interest and stuff. And the more I thought about it, the more it made no sense, because, well, Wave 6 arrived, so why wouldn't they want Wave 5? That, it's, like I said, it makes no sense. Emails aside, glad we had the set. Let's get on with the review. So as you can see here, it does come with 3 Flood Form Infection Forms, and it comes with the Flood Tank. It comes with Master Chief from Halo 3 with the Flamethrower, and we're just going to start with him and get him out of the way because it's probably the least interesting part of the set. So Master Chief here is basically the same one we got in the GameStop exclusive Warthog pack, which isn't a bad thing. That was a good Master Chief, and this one is too. The only real difference between that one and this one is that the crack on his armor, on his chest armor, doesn't have that little hint of silver in it. It's fine, it's just a little paint detail that's missing, but other than that, good solid figure. And it does come with the Flamethrower, as you guys can see right here, and it looks good. I love the shark on it. The detail on the whole thing is really nice. You can see just all these little things going on, this little wire. You can hold it from the back and the front right there, just like you do in the game. Yeah, honestly, it is cool to finally have a Flamethrower in the set. Since I bought 2 of these, I will now have 2 Flamethrowers. So yeah, that's cool. Not really much else to say. I get why they gave this. The only other weapon that would have actually made sense to me would have been the shotgun, but Flamethrower honestly makes more sense, especially for the Cortana level. I feel like that's what this is reminding me a lot of, especially since the base it comes with, just get that off, we get 2 of these, and they are new purple ones, which look really good. They have that little pattern going on, and again, it just reminds me of the Covenant. So although the Cortana level is really all Flood, it's still on high charity, so it's kind of there, but either way, cool. Like I said, there's no real difference between this Chief and the other Chief. Mine is modded. Don't mind the really bad chest armor there. I 3D printed that because I didn't want to ruin the only one I have. Now that I have a new one, I'm definitely going to be modding it by removing that piece and gluing it onto one of my waste mod things. But yeah, the only difference I can kind of see is the visor here is a little bit more of a gold on this one, and this one's a little bit more of a yellow gold. Aside from that, they're basically the same exact figure, same exact paint apps. We have the white lines there and everything, the black, missing the silver, like I said, on the new one. And yeah, not really much else in terms of differences between them. So if you have one, you basically have the other one. I'm now going to have 3, which is unfortunate, but customizing, fun. So there we go with that. Anyways, articulation is up, down, looks left, looks right, Armor goes all the way up like that, down, rotation. Of course, we have that hinge, swivel, rotation, hinge, somewhat rotation, but not really. It's always the waist that sucks on these figures. Foot up, back a really good amount. Double jointed knee that does really well too. May not look the greatest, but that's honestly really good. Then we have back, forward, and we do have rotation. You can see there. Mine is stuck, and I definitely want to heat it up because I do not want it to break. It's happened to me a few times already. It's not fun, so gonna definitely heat that up before I mess with it anymore. But anyways, yeah, Master Chief, solid figure. Glad that people who didn't pick up the Halo 3 Warthog will be able to get him in this 2-pack, but at the same time, I feel like Jazwares is just falling back into the same thing they've been doing, where they re-release Chief way too many times. They've done it so many with Infinite that, you know, it's not fun. He's peg warming everywhere. So if you guys think your sales are doing bad, it's probably because you guys keep releasing Master Chief so many times. Even Halo 4 Master Chief, he's peg warming too already at my target. There's too many of him. So that's unfortunate because he's a completely different body and everything, completely different mold, different armor and everything. But yeah, that's just the reality of it. But anyways, glad to have this guy in the collection and be able to just customize him, do something. So moving on to what we're really here for, which is the Flood infected forms, right? That's what we all wanted. I mean, honestly, I would buy a pack for $10 of 6 of these. I would hope for 10, but I would buy a pack of 6 of these. If you guys give the carrier form and you release like a carrier form with like 10 of these infected forms and just 15 bucks or something, I would buy like 3 of those right. Okay, maybe not right away because you got to budget money. I mean, honestly, but I would want to buy 3 of those, and I would get 3 of those eventually because I want an army of these. Obviously, these are basically the most common version of the Flood, the little guys that pop around and everything, and they look amazing. They are in their nice little Halo 3 look. They honestly, they look amazing. They look like little bugs. I dropped one earlier on the floor, and it looked disgusting. It looked like a roach was crawling across my floor or something. So they did a really good job. The tentacle thingies on it are rubbery. They do move around. The paint on it is so freaking good. I mean, they did an amazing job with the paint here. There's a nice gradient of like a salmon pink and then this like tan color. And then we have all of this detail with the black going throughout, kind of lining everything. It came out so good. Honestly, these look amazing. There are some like variations in the paint. This one's a little bit darker. This one's a little bit lighter. So they're not exactly the same, but they're not, you know, different. They're the same mold and everything, but the paint varies just ever so slightly, if at all, but it's there. And just having 3 of these, I was like posing this with the Warthog earlier, and it was fun. I haven't opened my other 2-pack, but I feel like I'm just going to have way more fun with that once I get it out. The only issue I have with them is they do tend to fall forward. They don't kind of sit back. They all lean forward. Aside from maybe that guy a little bit. Aside from that, they're really cool. Want to army build them. And glad we got 3 of them. I mean, honestly, it would have been so easy for them to not even include any of these and just made it the tank and chief. But the fact that they included these is awesome, and I'm for it, and I want more. If you're going to be reprinting any of the figures from this wave and making a lot of them, aside from the ODST, make it these, because I definitely need an army. So, anyways. And so that leads us to the Flood tank form. Kind of one of the most annoying ones to kill. I usually just grenade them because it's easier, or I try to just kill the little forms before him with, you know, a nice melee attack so he can't transform. That's my strategy usually. I'm kind of surprised we didn't get the other 3 forms. They could have so easily made this a 3-pack with all 3 of the forms of this Flood so that we have like an evolution or something. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like that in the future. I'm for it. I'm for having more of these guys. I don't think I want as many tank forms as I would with just some of the other ones, like the combat forms and everything. But yeah, I guess I'll take a few more tank forms. I mean, I already have another one, so what's another like 3 or 4 of them, or 10? So, you know, I need more. That's all I'm saying. Aesthetic-wise, this figure looks amazing. Just like the infected forms, the paint job on it is done so well. The greens, the like faded salmon colors, the tans, everything, all of the black kind of detail paint throughout the body and everything. makes this figure stand out and look just so good. The only issue I could even come up with, if I had to, I'm not saying it is just he's a little bit glossy. That's about it. That's just a regular action figure. Action figures are usually glossy. So if he was a little bit more matted, I think it would look a lot better. But aside from that, I mean, I can't complain about the aesthetics of this figure. I think they did a great job. Absolutely love it. So happy to finally have some type of Flood in the collection. And aside from that, there is one little disappointing thing about it, and we're going to get to that. I do have him on his base because he does tend to fall forward because of the big arm right there, which is kind of to be expected. I mean, you can get him to stand up, but chances are he will end up falling forward anyway, unless you do something like that where he's kind of holding himself up by his arm right there. So, where do I even begin? Like I said, aesthetic-wise, he looks amazing, aside from this giant crack throughout the top of him right there and then down here. It's just where the plastic kind of meets together, where it forms, but you know, they can't really do anything about it. It stands out a lot for some reason. Maybe they got the black paint in there, and I think that's what's going on or something, or maybe it's not all the way closed. Either way, it stands out a little bit too much, but again, it can't complain because this figure looks amazing. So, articulation isn't bad. He can look up. He's actually already looking up. Look down a lot. And then he can turn his head like that. Again, there is a way to do this, and if they just did a double ball peg, then he can look left, right, up, and down. That's what I wish they would do with him. That's what I wish they would do with the elites. I don't know if it would work with the brutes, but the jackals and stuff like that, if they can just switch to a double ball peg, if they can just try it out, so we can get left and right and up and down movement, that would be great. But for what it is, it's not bad. Anyways, arms can move up that much, and where is it? That much. Down, and down, bend, and bend. Of course, you know, since everything is kind of so disproportionate, that's why I'm showing both, but then we have that rotation there, no kind of wrist rotation, which is fine, we don't really need it, I guess. Body rotation, again, sucks, and he can't really do anything. I mean, he can lean back, but he'll just lean forward because it's mostly just loose. He can't really lean side to side because he'll just fall back forward. You can't twist side to side, which is the most annoying thing. I feel like maybe if I shave down a little bit of it, I can get it to at least do that without kind of ruining the aesthetic of the figure too much. Because, I don't know, just for some of his attacks, I would really like him to be able to do something like that. Because it just makes sense. He's usually running at you. So it would make sense that he could turn his body side to side. He can't, and it's the most disappointing thing about the figure. So, yeah, that does honestly suck. The legs can go out that much, go in that much. They don't feel super tight, I'm not going to lie. I had one of them pop off on me earlier, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Can kick forward, can kick back. Again, it's so disproportionate. His knee is kind of sideways and everything. You can do that bend. It doesn't look great, but it's fine. You can do that bend, which the bends are really good, I'm not going to lie. So, there is that. And he does have, if I can find where it is, movement on both feet to go up and down. There we go. There's one. Up and back. And up and back. There we go. There they are. A little bit hard to see because of the way his body is formed. But it is there. And you can get some decent poses without having to shift his waist. But that little addition of a waist twist would have elevated this figure so much. It would have given us so many more possibilities. He's not one that really needs to crunch forward. But for his form and the way he attacks in game and everything, the way he has his giant arm, to wave it out and attack, he definitely needs kind of a twist. So that's my only actual drawback on this figure. It's the World of Halo scale. It's $20, $24 with tax, somewhere around there. So I can't expect too much. It's a 3¾ inch figure too. So yeah, I'm sure if they do this in like the Spartan collection or anything like that, they'll probably add something. At least I would hope so. But for $20, it's not bad. You kind of have to meet your expectation with how much you're paying. And honestly, this exceeds my expectations by a lot, just in the paint alone. Anyway, quick size comparison between the three figures that are included in this pack. You can see the infected form right there, super tiny. Master Chief standing a little bit taller than him. You know, we can move the legs and make the Flood kind of not tower him, but definitely a little bit taller. The other leg does give me a little bit issues, but maybe something like that. Honestly, if he could hold that back kind of pose right there without leaning forward right away, it would make him a lot taller, and it would make him look a little bit more menacing, but he just leans back forward. I feel like adding a piece of paper there to kind of add some friction might actually help with that, but that's something for another day. Either way, here we have all three together. And just for some more comparisons, because I'm sure people are curious, here they are next to the Orbiter. Looks good, nothing really to say here. Orbiter is definitely a bit taller than the tank form, so there's that. And for one final comparison, here he is next to Escarim, which, I mean, there's no Flood in Halo Infinite for now. Hopefully, maybe in the future, that would be awesome. But yeah, you can see here he kind of towers over him. Again, you can kind of get him to stand a little bit taller, but I don't know. I do feel that maybe the Brutes should probably be like kind of equal to their height. They're pretty big, so kind of makes sense to me. But again, I feel like the Flood tank form himself, I don't know. Again, I have to go back and just look at the images and play the game or something to remember if he is actually the right height. Either way, glad to have him in the collection, and there's your height comparison. And last but not least, here he is next to the Halo 3 Warthog, which I did reposition him. I finally got him into a better pose and kind of stabilized him with his arm, because I forgot I could do that, even though I just mentioned it not that long ago. But yeah, now he looks like a better height. Now he looks like he should compared to Orbiter, where he's just a bit bigger, bulkier, and everything. So maybe it's just those legs. It's just posing him. It's not easy because, again, his feet don't want to kind of hang on to just the way he's standing. It's an awkward figure because of the way he's formed and everything. But okay, I'm taking back what I said about him being too small. Maybe he's about the right height here once you kind of somehow manage to get him to stand. So we know getting these figures to stand isn't the easiest thing. And just for one more comparison, here he is again with Master Chief. And this definitely looks a lot better because he's not towering over the Flood anymore. Now he's about the same height. But yeah, here he is with the Warthog. You can see he is shorter than top of the gun and everything, which is accurate. So I love how this looks. And just glad to kind of have this set so we can recreate some of those final moments from Halo 3. So overall, a very good pack. Honestly, worth the $20 to $24 you will be paying, depending on tax in your state, and definitely not worth the prices that people were reselling them on eBay. I would have been so disappointed in myself if I had bought one from there and an inflated price closer to $100, because although they're both really cool figures, or at least the Flood is a really cool figure and so are the little infection forms, it's definitely not worth it. It definitely has that World of Halo quality to it where the articulation isn't what you would want it to be. It's good enough for the line, but for an inflated price to closer, like I said, to $90, 100% not there. So I'm glad I held out on this. Hopefully most people did too. And yeah, it's not even worth the price of getting it retail plus shipping from Canada, if I'm being honest. It's not worth anything more than the $25 that it's going for. So be patient, get it on Amazon. If it shows up at Target, I'm sure it'll probably be the same price, $20, $21, somewhere around there. And yeah, it's honestly a very cool set. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad these finally came to America. I was honestly wondering if they would ever show up. When I saw them at SDCC, you know, on display there and all the pictures and everything, that's when I kind of thought, you know what, they probably will release them. There's no reason they wouldn't. I was hoping that somebody there would ask them, but I couldn't find anything online of people asking them about it. But seeing them there kind of gave me hope. So, you know, it kind of paid true, and I'm glad I didn't spend the money to have it imported. And that'll pretty much do it for the review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, great figures, definitely worth the retail price. Really cool, really glad to see the Flood finally entering this line. Hopefully we get combat forms and carrier forms at some point, and just every type of version of the Flood, Marine Flood, Elite Flood. It would be awesome to just have like a nice good Flood army, as well as the rest of Wave 5. I'm hoping that the other 2 packs at the very least go up, and that the individual figures start showing up in stores. So hopefully more Halo reviews in the future. I do have the drop pod on pre-order. It went in and out of stock today. Next time I see it in stock, I'll try and post again, but it might sell out fast. It's just, it is what it is. That's definitely one of those must-haves, those multiple buys right there. I did kind of pre-order 3 of them because it just looks really, really cool. I know that they're all supposed to be the rookie, but I mean, it's the drop pod. Who wouldn't want the drop pod? But anyways, once again, that is my review for the World of Halo Flood tank with Flood infection forms and Master Chief with flamethrower. Highly recommend. Again, link in the description if you guys want to pick one up yourself from Amazon. Affiliate link. Anyways, that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.